Hi guys, Vixxstarr again. So far I've shown you how to make these super cute little 3D micro donut charms and the super cute micro cupcakes. So today this is going to be a little bit of an experiment going on from the cupcakes. I'm going to show you how to do the patty pan in the different colours. So for a party cake, you know, cupcake patty pan, then instead of the cherry, what I'm going to make is like my rendition, hopefully it'll turn out cute, of what we used to do when I was little, which we called butterfly cakes. So I'm going to make like a little butterfly. I'll show you how to do that. It's like a micro bow, but I think it looks a little bit like a butterfly. So I'm going to make one of those and we're going to put that on the top of the cake. I might put this one on the top of this cake. So I'm just going to slip straight through the bottom with the hook, grab that band and pull it through, trying not to grab any of the other bands, which is not an easy feat sometimes. Let's try that again, shall we? Okay, pulling that through, just grabbing that blue band, leaving the other ones behind because we don't want to warp the cupcake. Pull that blue band through. Oh, isn't that cute? Now we've got a little cherry on there and that little butterfly, and then you just tuck that band up away. But that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to use 4 colours. So I will be using, for my little bit of cream on the top, just white. For my patty pan colours will be yellow and turquoise. These are all rainbow loom bands. And for my cake itself, it's not going to be iced because my mum never used to ice these butterfly cakes. What it was just the plain cupcake, and then they cut the centre out of the middle, and then they put cream in, and with the piece that they cut out of the middle they slice it in half and they make butterfly wings. So it's the cream sitting on the cupcake, and then for the butterfly I'm going to do it the same colour as the bit of the cupcake. So I'll show you how to make the butterfly. I'm going to start with, you can make it whatever colour you like, but I'm going to start with my cake colour, taking 2 bands, double it in your fingers, going down to your loom and using 2 pegs, putting that 2 doubled bands across those pegs, then grabbing 1 single band, grabbing it and pulling it under and slip knotting it, so reclaiming it on your hook and slip knotting it with those 2 bands there. Pull it nice and tight with your fingers and hold on to it while you pull those bands off the pegs so that you don't pull it out too much. And there we have our micro bow. If you spread it out, should look a little bit more like a butterfly. So that's what I'm going to use as my little butterfly, and I'll put that aside and we'll get into making this cupcake. So with our loom in staggered configuration with the pegs, like I said, I've got 4 colours. I'm using white for the cream, neon orange for the cupcake colour. You can decide to use 1 colour instead of those 2 for just your icing colour, but I'm using those 2 because, like I said, I'm mimicking my butterfly cakes. And for the base I am using the yellow and the turquoise in the rainbow loom. So we will start with our base colour and grabbing 2 bands, 1 of each colour, and we're going to do our starburst. So I've got a turquoise and a yellow, starting anywhere on your pegs, centre peg out to an outside peg, and again 1 of each colour from the centre out to the next, laying our basic starburst. And now I've got 2 bands, one of each colour on each cross peak for my starburst, pushing down the centre. So there you go. And for the centre one, just choose one of your colours. Take a band and double it, and then double it onto the peg. Like so. So we've got our cap band on the top there. We're going to start looming. Going to loom under our cap band and grab the first 2. For me is 1 yellow and 1 turquoise leading up to the top, and then the next 2 leading out to the side, and then the next 2 leading down, and so on till you have completely done your starburst. Like so. Sorry guys, moving off to the side. Push down your bands. Now double bands again, one of each colour. Going to drop 2 bands on any peg, and then leading from that peg, grabbing another 2 bands and going around the perimeter of your starburst using 2 single bands, one of each colour. That's how I get my stripy effect, going one of each colour. You can change your colour effect as much as you like. Experiment. Post them on Instagram and show me. I want to see. So get to that second last peg and then grab those bands that you've dropped and bring them up and onto the top of there. So now we're going to grab our hook, loom those 4 on the bottom that were the starburst up and over the top of those 4 that we've just laid out. So again, up 4 bands up and over the top and into the middle, 4 bands up and over the top, all the way around your design, making sure that you don't lose any of your bands, and making sure you just flip those 4 on the bottom starburst row. So then pushing your bands down again, choose a colour. So I'm going to use yellow because it's closer to my cake colour, and doing single bands, drop 1 and do a single row around the perimeter using your base colour still. And that's the last row. Grab that single band that we dropped up on there. That's the last row of our patty pan. So we're going to bring all 4 up and over the top again, making sure that we don't lose any of those top bands. Moving all 4 of our bottom row. All up and over the top on the outside. So that's what it should look like for you. So we've just got 2 bands on each peg now. I want you to push all those bands down. Now we're moving on to your topping colour, or your cake. For me is my cake colour. And say topping, grabbing 2 bands and dropping, and then following around with 2 bands all the way around the perimeter, 2 single bands. Okay. So once you've done that, grab those 2 dropped bands and brought them up. Instead of adding an extra band, we're going to move those 2 on the bottom row up and over the top into the middle, all the way around. So for me, just the 2 yellow bands. Like so, pushing all your bands down. Now we are just going to go onto, for me, the cream. You can stay your topping colour, but I'm going to go white. I'm going to drop a band. So follow on with your topping colour and drop a band, singular, all the way around, doing a single row. Till you get to that band that you dropped. Bring it up over the top, and then looming those 4 bands on the bottom, up and over the top. So for me, all of my neon orange are going up over the white. All the way around and not losing any bands. So push that down. Now we are going to finish it. So I'm going to finish mine off with the white. Pardon me. Grabbing 2 singular bands. Choosing a peg and just grabbing those 2 bands off onto your hook. Grab the 2 singular bands in your hand and feed them through the band you've got on your hook. Like so, and then reclaim, move on to the next peg, grab those bands off onto your hook, 2 singular bands, so still working with your topping colour, or for me it's the cream, pull that band, those 2 singular bands through and reclaim, onto the next peg, pulling the band off, grabbing 2 more singular bands and pulling them through all of the bands on your hook. Reclaim, onto the next peg, grabbing the 2 bands, 2 singular bands, pulling them through all those bands and reclaiming on your hook. Last one, second last one for me. Those bands off the peg, 2 bands through all of those bands on my hook, reclaiming, and the last one, pulling the design off. This is what you should have around abouts. Doesn't look like much yet. Push those last bands up on your hook a bit more. Turn it over so that you can see that opening hole. Put your fingers in and turn it inside out, but give it a good little stretch as you're turning it, just to flip those bands and get them a bit more comfortable in their situation. Still got those bands on your hook. Go into the next, for me it's the white, so it was the first stitch of the white there. I'm going to grab 2, so I've got those 2 on my hook and the ones that were already on there. Grab 2 single bands, pull them through all of those bands. Then we are going to grab 1 single band. Sorry, this is where I'm going to grab my little bow or my little butterfly. It's my single band. I'm going to grab it at the bottom and I'm going to pull it through those 2 on my hook, and then I'm going to slip knot it. So I'm going to pull that band over the top of the butterfly so the butterfly goes through it, and then pull it tight, and that's what we've got there. Got our little butterfly attached to the top of the cupcake. Push your cupcake around so that your base comes out a bit more and you can see that patty pan. Pull it out a bit more and then squish it down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reach in underneath through the middle, come up on the other side in that cream that I've got there, just through a couple of the bands, and I'm going to grab the middle of where the butterfly, that band there, I'm going to grab around the middle of it, pull it down and through gently pulling it out the bottom. So that's that there. It's pulled the butterfly right into the cream, and then squish a cupcake around a little bit so that the bands come up from the bottom. And there you go. My super cute butterfly cupcake. I can't remember what my mum used to call them. I didn't think they were called butterfly cakes. We called them something else, like flutter cakes or something. But I showed you how to do the multicoloured base. You can see different bands, like I said, make a difference. I used jelly bands, the teal and the regular teal and yellow jelly in this one. And then I just used the normal purple. And then I used a wrap band for my cherry there. And for that one, like I said, just give it a bit of a smush. Each cupcake is a different shape in real life, so how can we expect them to be the same? You know? But I'm quite happy with how that came out. I think it's super cute. And please like, subscribe, share, and follow me if you want to. Yeah, enthuse me to make more of these super cute little creations, because I am loving it at the moment, and it is taking up a lot of time. So yeah, just let me know if you do like them. Thanks guys, and Loom on. Bye. And guys, I want to just add that next time, if I was to make these butterfly cakes again, that singular row that you do right before you start, so the ones that are on the pegs when you take it off and loop it through hook only, I did them in white and they come out like that. So next time I would do them in that neon colour, and then I would have that full line of the neon, so it would look more like the cake on the outside and the cream in the middle. So I wouldn't even start using the white at all. I would just do double of the neon after finishing the patty, and then a single of the neon, and then I would use the 2 cream on my hook to get them off the pegs and finish it up that way. So yeah, that's just my finishing thoughts for the day, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.